Oh, I can just click that button and it starts recording. Go figure. Huh.
Recording. Man, we are truly at it.
I honestly, I didn't think it would be that fast. It just happened.
Oh my gosh, we are it's almost going a little too fast. I think I know we are truly back at it.
Like a crack addict. Is that the word?
Back at it like a crack addict up in rehab.
Okay.
That's, you can kind of tell a song is dated when it makes kind of a fun little reference to being addicted to crack.
The song came out 6 months ago.
Back at it like a crack addict.
Yeah, from the Burn the Jewels, from the second song on Burn the Jewels.
Oh, at it like a crack addict.
The Jewels 4.
Up in rehab. That song is there's a song called Let Me Hold You by Bow Wow. Formerly Lil Bow Wow, currently Shad Moss.
Shad Moss, really?
Yeah, his name is Shad Moss.
His government name, his born name is
Shad Moss.
And is that what he goes as now?
Yes, he goes as Shad Moss. And there was a season where I know this because I don't remember what year it was, but there was a year where he just kept taking L's again and again and again.
His entire career, yeah. I remember.
Yeah, but it was really unfortunate because it all kind of started, he did this thing where and it's such an easy thing to not lie about, and that is kind of what makes it frustrating, is he took a picture of a private jet and he was going to New York this weekend, and then someone took a picture of him in a coach, or someone took a picture of him on a commercial flight. And then someone did looked up private jets, and it was one of the first images to pop up on Google. And it was just oh man, how about just don't do that? It's so easy to not do that. Yeah, it's so easy to not lie.
Right.
And I get it. I mean, if you're trying to build a brand or whatever, but the stakes are so high that if you get caught, you look like a total shooby, and he got caught. And
Shooby, like the character from The Circle?
Shooby like the character from The Circle. What are you talking? Oh, yes, he looks like a total shabam. No, I'm talking Shooby as in rocket power. That's what they would call the tourist.
Oh, not Shooby. But that is also, as you remember, the nickname for Shabam. Back at it like a crack addict, Mr. Black Magic, crack a bitch back, chiropractic craftmatic is the first line by Killer Mike from Yankee and the Brave. Which is funny because now I'm glad that the word craftmatic is in there, because when I think of it in my head, sometimes I'm like, is it crack addict or craftmatic? And so I'll say back at it like a craftmatic, and I'm like, that can't be right. That can't be what the lyrics can't be back at it like a craftmatic.
But they are in some way. It's
if you put them in a different order, yeah.
Yeah, but it's if you're writing, someone is writing a review about you, about you, you personally.
Yeah, Yelp for people.
Yeah. If someone is writing a review of a movie, you could just be this movie is great, Right. You could just hide that ellipses in there.
Right.
And it's back at it like a ... craftmatic.
Back at it like a crack addict, Mr. Black Magic. I feel like this is the show. We should probably run the intro at this point.
Yeah, sure thing.
Great.
Hello and welcome to Get Better, a show about two longtime friends trying their best, growing up, and hopefully getting better. I'm Zach Johnson.
And I'm Sam Cherry. Zach?
Yes?
I'm excited.
Oh.
Potentially for someone other than me to be talking about the CIA. Now, I have listened since last week to a 13-episode podcast about the Iraq War, and you'll be proud of me. Today, I got to the second episode of a Jeffrey Epstein podcast, and I said, this is not good for me. So I did turn off the Jeffrey Epstein podcast, but I got a lot of CIA Iraq War shit, but it's not me this time.
Yes. Okay, I didn't realize we were going to go into this soon. I
don't know if you've read any of it, so I don't know if you have any.
No, I don't worry. I have. Yeah, and I haven't decided whether or not I wanted to make it an ongoing segment, just because I read the first 3 chapters, and you're better at coming up with titles. I was just going to call it Secret Book Club, and me just let's just check in on Frank Dux and see what he's getting after. and then I would just start each one with like, we last left our hero. But
I love that. Here's the thing. I don't think in the entire 20 minutes that you talked about Bloodsport, you did ever say Frank Dux. And so because when you said that to me, like, did I talk about Frank Dux? And I'm like, I don't know who that is. But Bloodsport, we talked about extensively. So it's the Bloodsport guy.
So just as a quick recap for the audience,
the last time we left our hero.
There is this movie in 1990 called Bloodsport, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. And it's about Jean-Claude Van Damme being a martial artist in this like underground secret fighting tournament called the Kumite. And
he does Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, exactly. And he has this little fighting tournament and he wins. And I don't know how this information came upon me, but this movie is based on a guy, and it's not necessarily based on a guy as much as it is like based on a dude that had a dojo and who would just tell wild stories. And
which, like, let's be honest, to get a dojo, you need to like be able to rent out some space in a strip mall. Like, it's not that.
And he became kind of like famous just in LA as like, have you met Frank? He's this wild boy that has all these stories and he tells them with like a certain intensity. And like he told this story about how before he got this dojo, he entered into this secret fighting tournament and won it. And this fighting tournament was like on like a Caribbean island, and it was invite only, and you have to be like the best fighter in the world to get there. And
I literally can't believe he didn't. And then he fought Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like, I can't. Like,
yeah.
You mean like the very famous movie where that happened?
Yeah.
Nope, not that one.
And like so many things came about this. Like, I'm not getting the name right, but he was like, I had a sensei named the Golden Tiger or whatever.
Right.
And just like he would have all these like wild stories, and it's endearing in a way the more I research it, because I don't think the screenwriters ever believed him, but they thought it was like kind of fun that he had this like idea, and they were like, that'd be a fun movie. Let's just go ahead and do it. And Frank Dux did the choreography for it. And he
does know some martial arts.
Yeah. He knows. I think. Yeah. He had a dojo. Like, I mean, so
I guess that's true.
He had a dojo, and he was like good enough to be like kind of a spectacle. And I think it's kind of funny because every once in a while you'll hear about like in big cities like LA or New York or Chicago, there's kind of people that everyone sort of know. It's like, oh yeah, that's that guy. Like everyone has either heard of him or has had like an interaction with him. And there's like a lot of like, this is an aside, but in New York, there is a list of, there's like this list of like the best subway people, and how seemingly every single person in New York has had run-ins with like all of these people. It goes, oh yeah, that's Earth Angel. He's the guy that holds the book over his face that says Earth Angel. And he says, don't look into my eyes or you'll disintegrate. Everyone knows Earth Angel.
Oh,
and so
cocaine's a hell of a drug, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I think
I would like to circle back on local crazies because I have a couple stories. I have really one story, but it's fine. But
so I think that Frank I think that in the world of martial arts, like when you're in kind of that close knit community, like if you have like a bunch of like meetups or like there's going to fighting tournaments and things, like you get like, you know, everyone pretty quick, and it's like, oh yeah, that's that wild boy Frank Dux. And so Frank Dux does the choreography and has the story based on for the movie Bloodsport. It is a colossal hit. It is this huge hit. It like Jean-Claude Van Damme is like a bona fide superstar, and Frank really rides the coattails of that success. And so he's already has this story about him doing an underground fight. He does Enter the Dragon. He pawns off Enter the Dragon as hey, wouldn't it be cool if I did that?
Yeah, you know that thing? That was me though. I was that guy. I was Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon. Oh, okay.
That was me.
Sure.
And so then
How when the movie came out, nobody noticed? Like, hey, isn't this the plot to Enter the Dragon?
I mean, I think it must. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like people would have saw the movie, and it's just like imagine like you're watching Top Gun, and then all of a sudden some guy's like, "I wrote this. This is about me," and it's like you blew up a Russian fighter jet at the. No, you didn't. That's so easily fact checkable.
I'm Robert Top Gun. It's like, all right, I guess you are.
I'm Top Gun. My best friend Goose died. Spoiler alert. Anyway, that was me. I'm Top Gun. Oopsies. And Tom Cruise and I met, and he respected me so much that he made this movie.
But what I'm saying is that when they watched Bloodsport, did they not say like, wait, isn't this the plot to Enter the Dragon? And then it's like based on a true story. Be like, the true story about the movie that came out like 20 years before. Like, this is already a movie. It would be more like if they did like Avatar and it was like, oh yeah, based on a true story. I guess that doesn't make any goddamn sense what I just said because there's like aliens in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dumb. Never mind. Move
on. So Frank, he and I can just kind of assume this is what it must be like to have a gambling addiction. You just like want to keep the dice rolling, and he like. Because he won so big with Bloodsport, I think that he was like, well, let's keep this train going. And then in 1996, he came out with a book called The Secret Man. And The Secret Man, I'm just going to read not the first page, but like there are words on the cover of this book. And also, I should state that my lovely girlfriend bought this book for me because she knows how obsessed I am with Frank Dux and just his like general antics.
You love Liar Boys. These are sweet Liar Boys like Billy Firefest, all of them.
And I think this started coming up. I don't know have I talked about Dan Blazarian on the podcast?
I know the name, but I also love Liar Boys, so I don't know.
I will talk about Dan Blazarian is kind of what got this whole thing started.
The founder of Blizzard.
Yes. So there are words on the cover, and the cover says he was the CIA's covert operative, the subject of the martial arts film Bloodsport, a bridge to international organized crime, a legend on both sides of the Iron Curtain. His true identity always concealed from the people he served. He was the Secret Man, an American warrior's uncensored story. But the inside of the cover is also just incredible. It has a quote from CIA Director William Casey. I demand absolute loyalty. I need a ghost. Someone not subject to reports, red tape, even laws. I want a zookeeper, son. Yeah. A spy for spies. You answer to me, and I mean only me.
Sorry.
CIA Director William Casey.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
One, it seems like Six Underground did rip some of this off, but also
yeah.
Did you say zookeeper in there?
Yes, he says I need a zookeeper, and don't you fret. I'm gonna loop back around to that.
Awesome.
It is revealed what a zookeeper is in the first chapter.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Thank you.
I kind of as a joke, like I kind of got this book almost for like set dressing just in my life because I think it's so funny.
So that people can ask about it and you can talk about Bloodsport. Let's be real.
Yeah. Exactly.
They can say, what's that book? And you're like, do you know about Bloodsport?
Do you know about Bloodsport? And I just read the first chapter and it was so intoxicating that I just had to keep going. So I think that's why this could, if this hits, this could be a segment. But so if you'll allow me, I want to get into just kind of a summary with some fun quotes from the first 3 chapters.
Sure, I'd love it.
This is Zach's The Secret Book Club.
Secret book. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Why is it secret?
Listen, it's The Secret Man. It's The Secret Book Club.
I missed that. No, that makes sense.
This is my an American podcaster's uncensored story.
Okay, I get you. The Secret Book Club. Yes, I understand.
Okay, so I'm going to. There's a foreword. There's acknowledgments. Whatever. The forward and the acknowledgments are funny for reasons I'll get into in a moment. Great. But if it's okay, this quote is a little bit long, but I would like to read the prologue in its entirety.
What? Okay.
Sure. The prologue, it's only a paragraph.
I'm not going to yuck your yum. Read the prologue.
To look upon a spy's life is to look upon the moon. Regardless of its dark side, a spy's existence has been the subject of romance that conjures up a sinister yet compelling image with the force to attract our brightest and darkest nighttime imaginings. Distance and perspective, however, make all the difference in our final perception. Upon close inspection, the allure disappears in the face of the desolate wasteland from which one can view the shape and state of the earth as it really is. One travels alone to the moon landscape, which exerts its invisible yet powerful influence over the tides of political and economic rise and fall of the teeming, unsuspecting sphere below. In its airless landscape, we remain isolated and cut off from one another. A single wrong move, the slightest malfunction, and we're all doomed. If a spy does survive, ultimately, he is left looking down upon the strange, distant landscape of the world below, wondering why.
Yeah, because if we know anything from Iran-Contra and Venezuela, what the CIA is famous for is doing a great job and not getting caught. They're really famous for keeping it all secret, and actually it goes well for everyone. I mean, you know, if you're getting murdered by a death squad in Honduras, it's probably bad, but like otherwise, it's great.
So this is kind of what started, like obviously the prologue is kind of what starts your journey. It is the overture to what setting for sure. to what the rest of the book will be about. And I was just like, what the hell is going on in this paragraph? I read it like 5 times just because I did not understand, because he's like, just the first sentence alone is so freaking beautiful. To look upon a spy's life is to look upon the moon. And then he just
it's like he literally saw a bunch of James Bond's movies. He's like, it's that, right?
No, and then he kind of forgets about the moon analogy. And then he like is on the moon.
Right. He is like, the moon, but he also is on the moon.
He is on the moon. And then he's like,
we're the tides, I think?
Yeah.
I think we're the ocean.
And he says, he's like, you have to go to the moon alone. It's like, yes, famously all the astronauts went to the moon alone.
And again, like, if I make one wrong move, like
the moon, like what are you talking about?
Like selling sarin gas to Saddam Hussein, you know, like what are you talking about? They make wrong moves like all the fucking time. That's like the whole thing.
But like that. In the context of the moon analogy, that's great, because it's like if I make one wrong move, we're all doomed. Certainly, if the moon makes one wrong move, we're all doomed. I guess. I never thought of it, but yeah, man, the big ups to the moon. Just a quick shout out to the moon for not making any wrong moves. So I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of run through the first 3 chapters of this book. So we meet our hero, Frank Dux, and he is hot on the trail of this counter agent, I guess, that we haven't found out yet. His name is Fish.
The bad guy from the Mission Impossible 3.
Yes.
Philip Seymour Hoffman from Mission Impossible
3. So his name is Fish, and he gets, like, he just calls him Fish, and the first chapter is called Caught in My Own Net, which is just great. And here are some of the inserts that I want to read. Remember you said animal, or you heard zookeeper earlier?
I did.
I was a bona fide animal. They refer to us as CIA SOD, Special Operations Division. Of course, we resented being called animals and referred to ourselves as soldiers. Oh, okay.
What? Wait a minute. What?
Hold on.
Did they call them SODs or did they call them animals? Is it both?
Don't worry, because they're called animals. They are the CIA SOD. Yeah. They're referred to as animals, but of course, we resented being called animals and referred to ourselves as soldiers of the twilight.
No, you didn't. Okay.
Yes.
Fuck. This reads like Michael Crichton fan fiction.
So yes, it does.
You're killing me.
And so it just like goes on. There's this one sentence that I haven't found. It is just like the funny. I was a former world champion, a professional martial artist, only a few years past my prime, when I was considered by many to be the fastest human alive.
So not past your prime.
Yeah, so, but it's okay. He's past his prime, but he still is the fastest human alive.
I guess you could be both, but still.
Yeah. So you have our hero, Frank Dux, the secret man, and he is he's trying to catch this guy. He's going after this guy called Fish, and he is not given clearance by the CIA director to like go after this guy. So he says to follow him around.
Sorry, hero is a good guy with a gun.
Yeah. Remember you said that.
Of course. That's what all these are.
This book might as well be called The Secret Good Guy with the Secret Gun. So it moves. So he's following this guy, and he's just upset because he's like not given clearance to follow him. But then the guy Fish makes a break for it. And so he chases him around, and he sees that Fish is holding a baby. He's running and holding a baby. So he's a really bad guy. And then the Fish like dips into an alleyway and misses him, and he's running around, and then like Fish completely gets away, and then he sees the baby is hanging from a tree limb, and then Frank like dives and jumps and catches the baby to save it. And then Fish comes out of the shadows and says, "Bang, you're dead," and then runs away into the shadows. And then Frank finds out the baby was just a baby doll, and he got fooled.
Did he get shot?
He did not. The guy just said, "Bang, you're dead." I think because Fish is toying with
Whiplash?
him.
What are you talking about?
Fish is toying with him. They're like two of the best spies in the world, but they're out to get each other. And so Fish is like, I could have remember this. I could have got you. And then the funniest part of this chapter is he has to hide from the police, because if the police catch him, then Fish is going to get away. And so he goes into a sewage drain, and he gets attacked. And I'm not making this up. The chapter genuinely ends with the greatest foe of all. A bunch of fire ants bite him. And then Fish gets away because he's foiled by a group of ants. Like the whole thing, like there's a whole like subsection of a paragraph just like devoted to how bad ant bites hurt and just like how he's gotten bit by a bunch of ants. And then Fish gets away. And this is like so this intro's here as yeah, that's me getting beat up by a bunch of ants. You're probably wondering how I got into this mess. And then it flashes back. And chapter 2 is genuinely all about and once again, I cannot make this up. I cannot tell a lie. The entire chapter is about him going on a date with a girl who's like really interested in him because,
he's so hot and cool.
Bloodsport just came out. And then he has a flashback to a time when he went to a...
Wait a minute.
Yes. No.
He wrote this book after Bloodsport came out?
He wrote this... Yes, this came out in 1996.
Sorry, I think I missed that.
So this entire second chapter is about how he went to seduction school. There are 9 full pages about him going to seduction school because the spies, specifically Bill Casey. Wait, what's his name? Don't put that in.
No, it's fine. I'm in the middle of reading some insane articles that are trying to follow up what you're saying, and okay, got it.
So the CIA director, Bill Casey, says that the best information he ever got was with some of the girls he was having affairs with, which is a wild thing to say about a real person. And so the entire book, the entire second chapter is about how he goes to seduction school, and it goes into not exactly graphic detail, but not graphic detail. Just about like I learned how to kiss. I learned how to like caress the neck. And like I learned about every contour of the female body. And it's just like, what is happening?
No, you didn't. You have to get to the punchline or I'm going to explode. You have to get there. Okay, let me tell you, while you've been saying this, I was like, they don't call them animals. That can't possibly be true. I have got one article up. The CIA's secret Cold War animal spies included cats, dolphins, and one smart raven. It's an article about how the CIA wanted to replace divers with dolphins.
No, you gotta look up Soldiers of the Twilight, because they don't call themselves animals. They call themselves Soldiers of the Twilight. Are you even listening?
Then, when I was continuing to look for any reference to CIA animals, I did find a website on CIA.gov. Let me just read you the web address because I'm now losing my mind. CIA.gov/kids page/spy dogs. So I am on the literally called Spy Kids section of the goddamn Central Intelligence Agency's website, which has a kids section for some reason, all about dogs that sniff out bombs. Whatever. There's also a games section. I do now have to go to the games section of the CIA's kids website.
I will be playing games.
There's a code breaking, which I actually probably will be playing.
Yeah.
But and a coloring book. There's a CIA kids coloring book.
That's amazing.
They fund militias to murder people. Like that's like a big part of the business. Is like, oh, we need to destabilize leftist governments in other countries.
Oh, Sam. Don't take away the fun of the secret man.
You're right. I'm sorry. I want to have fun with you. But, I mean, they did fund Al-Qaeda to fight the Soviets. That's all I'm saying. That's why they had the weapons in the first place. But all I'm saying, they have coloring books in their kids section. I want to get back to your silly, silly man. I don't see evidence of kids. Of animals. I'll look up Twilights of Fortune. You are driving me insane.
Chapter 3.
God damn it.
Chapter 3 is another whole flashback where it talks about how he really got into this mess the whole time. And it's when he meets Bill Casey, the head of the CIA. Okay. And it's he is seen as such a great martial artist, and he is such a cool boy, and he does such a great job being so strong and brave that
of course.
That people start noticing him, and he starts, people start kind of interviewing him covertly to see if he has what it takes. And then someone says that he's going to get to go to the CIA. And in response to him getting a meeting with the head of the CIA, this is the this is the quote that leads into it.
Okay.
But we've got something else in mind. What do you think about working for Bill Casey and me? No oaths, I asked. No oaths, he replied. My family had a history of jumping sides based upon ethical concerns that suspended blind allegiance to any sense of nationalism. Amends, the guy he's talking to, knew I was serious. In fact, my early retirement from the intelligence community was, I believe, due to my refusal to take an oath and serve blindly without questioning. I did forget to mention that he did get to go on some covert missions because he's such a big time fancy boy.
Because he's so hot and good.
Because he's so hot and cool. Yeah. And chapter 3 ends up with him meeting Bill Casey, the head of the CIA. And he meets him in a bathroom, which is kind of puzzling. Yeah. Like, that's how secret it is. That even, like, they talk to their urinals. And they don't mention it, but I guarantee it, like, an editor was like, hey, maybe don't talk about how big your dick is. Like, maybe, like, that's weird.
We had to cut out the 9 pages about your dick.
I think it's going to put some audiences off.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of famous government meetings in bathrooms. Actually, also, isn't that a scene? No, that's a scene from a different show. Fine, go ahead.
So it ends with our hero Frank Dux meeting the head of the CIA for a extra secret special boy covert mission, and that's where we leave off Frank. And will his adventures continue? Who knows? But all I know is that it's definitely all 100% his take on that stuff. I guess we're doing shop talk. I don't know when to reveal that it's all fake. I feel like it is in and of itself. Like, to be seen
you've
as
already
fake.
Done it on the show. You've already said that it's fake.
Yeah. So I think it'd be funny if I just treat this like it is a thing. like Frank is out here in these streets. It is so funny. It is so
wild.
Funny to be like,
because he's got like the dumb guy opinion of what the CIA. He's
no.
Yeah,
wait. Time out.
So stupid.
I forgot to mention one other thing that happened in chapter 3.
Jesus.
A guy who he calls Mr. Suit because he's not a tough boy like me. He's not from the streets. He's not a real time tough guy. He's just a guy in a suit. He frisks him. And in Frank's belt, he has like a bunch of like tiny tools, like tiny daggers and whatever.
Like Batman. Like he has tiny daggers.
Like Batman. And then the guy is like, I have to check your shoes. And he goes like, careful, Suit, there's bombs in there. And then, like, Mr. Suit thinks he's joking, but then he checks in his shoes, and what could have easily been a joke turns out is true. He had bombs in his shoes. Like, he had, it says, like, in, like, the heel of the shoe, he had, like, super secret bombs. Like, for what?
Is the stupidest man.
Also, he did.
For what? Yeah, like, what? You're going to take your shoe off and throw it?
He did mention that, and for no reason, it is like, it struck me as so odd that I had to, like, write it down in my notes. He said, he made me take off my black crocodile boots. I just think that's so funny. Just be like, yeah, these aren't just, listen, I'm a super secret spy and I'm super secret stylish. And I value my safety and the safety of everyone else so much that, yeah, I'll put bombs in even my black crocodile shoes. These aren't like Skechers, Daddy Bear. These are expensive black crocodile shoes that I'm putting bombs into for the safety of America. And also because he's such a big time cool guy, big dick, strong boy.
Big dick, good kissing, cool guy.
Yeah. He doesn't have to take his shoes off because Mr. Suit's like, take your shoes off, and he is just like, listen, brother, I'll blow this whole fucking place up if you make me take my shoes off.
I'll blow my own legs off. And also me though, for sure me.
You dumb son of a bitch.
If you make me take my shoes off, I'll fucking kill myself now in front of you.
So I have a theory that Mr. Suit is fish. That's my ongoing theory because it makes a whole point to talk about how he is such a cool, strong, good guy with a gun boy that he does not swear allegiance to America. He doesn't swear allegiance to Russia. He only swears allegiance to himself and what he believes is right.
Why would he swear allegiance to Russia?
I don't know. Like he just makes a whole point to where he doesn't swear oaths at all. Like he is like, that's why I had to leave the CIA before, because they made me blindly trust without looking into the facts. And I'm not just some ant. I'm an animal. I'm a soldier of Twilight.
I'm excited for the chapter when the CIA recruits him to fly up on a spaceship and blow up the meteorite that is coming to hit Earth.
Yeah.
Because it'd be easier to train him than to train astronauts how to kick and punch so good.
Honestly,
so we'll just train you to be an astronaut.
It does really. I believe that had this scandal come out in like 2006 or whatever, like it would be Michael Bay movies. Like it would be Pain and Gain.
You're saying that if instead of it being Bloodsport, it would be 6 Underground basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we have to talk about it because I will actually fucking explode.
Wait, to talk about what?
It's made up.
Okay, yes. So
they've heard the previous episode. They know it's made up.
As the series continues, I will say there have been numerous accounts where people, and the funniest one, the one that makes me giggle and the one that I think about before I fall asleep, is the person they interviewed is Bill Casey, the head of the CIA, who he talks about having secret meetings with, and who, at least in the first few chapters, talks about how much Bill Casey is also a cool, sex-having cool boy.
Yeah.
Bill Casey is like, I have no idea who Frank Dux is. And then,
it's so obvious.
Throughout the course of the book, he references people that also don't exist. And like reporters go out and then it's like they go and talk to the CIA and it's like that person doesn't exist. And like none of these stories happen, and apparently I'm not going to get into it. But
it's for later. It's for the. I like this segment.
But for things that happen later on, I have had it spoiled for me. For things that happen later on, the CIA just says we do not have that technology. Like that is science fiction.
It's like, yeah, and after I got done holding onto the side of the plane, I jumped into the giant typhoon of water, and that got me to the underground base. Are you describing the scenes from the 5th Mission Impossible movie? Nope, that happened to me.
That happened to me. And then, Tom Cruise stole that. And also, I didn't say this. I didn't dive into it. I surfed into it because I'm so rad. The back of this book is so also funny because it's a picture of him with a bunch of okay, imagine every lens you could use at every conceivable distance for a telescope, and he has it on a table in front of him. Like he has binoculars and a telescope next to him, and in front of the table there is like a telescope to look just kind of in front of you, a telescope to look at Jupiter. Like every telescope is in front of him, and he is wearing a trench. He's wearing a trench coat, and he's giving this look like, don't you dare step to me.
You're saying the back of the book is a man standing in a trench coat with several telescopes in front of him.
There is a telescope on a tripod, and on the desk there is just a bunch of like attachments you would put onto the telescope to see at different distances.
I feel like I live in the Matrix and you're Morpheus trying to let me know this isn't real. Like that's what's fucking my life is a simulation, and you're trying to break through and be like, listen to my words. Obviously that's not happening. You live in a computer.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Okay.
Yeah, and just more troubling, like he's wearing little gloves. The whole thing is great. Like
I'm just excited for the next chapter when he fights the Decepticons. I'm really excited for that.
It can only go up from here. I'm going to continue to read it regardless, just because I think he is so funny, and it is such a funny thing to do.
So funny.
Because the Q-Mite, which is the Into the Dragon, you can make that up. It's supposed to be a secret.
Right.
That's fine. Like, if someone's like, well, I haven't heard of that, it's like, okay, well.
That's the point.
You were invited to this super underground fighting tournament. And it's like, how come I never knew? It's like, are you in the fighting world? You don't know about it.
Right.
And, but it is so bananas to me that you would write in a real person who someone can get the book and go, oh, okay. Hey, did you say this? And goes like, no. It is so easy to fact check. And it makes me think, I'll have to look more into it. It makes me think the editor this is either self-published, or the editor figured out pretty early on that this was like batshit crazy and was like, I'm going to put this out if it's the last thing I do.
Well, because here's the thing. Here's the obvious tell. Because I know, listeners, you're doing the same. I mean, unless if you're an idiot, you're doing the same thing. But you're doing the math of like, well, wait a minute. How do we know it's a lie? Of course the CIA director would say he doesn't know because it's a secret.
So, but yes, Frank also says that. He is like, it's such a, I will say this of Frank, because I don't think that he thought this was going to happen, because in all the interviews I've seen where it's brought up, he's kind of like taken off guard, like even someone even mentioned it. And it's just like, cool. You brought up, what do you think was going to happen?
He's just doing mental jujitsu and you don't notice. He's throwing your confusion back.
Yeah. So, but he's kind of like, I'm the secret man. Like, why would they tell? Like, of course they're going to deny my existence. I'm like, I am James Bond. I am a secret agent above secret agent. Like he's
QAnon.
Yeah. They can't mention me, because to mention me would like destroy the entire program, because then the other people would know that we have like super duper secret agents that also, I guess, at the same time are running a dojo.
Cause like, if he did this and it were true, it would all be classified information and he would just go to jail. Like Edward Snowden didn't drop a bunch of documents and they were just like, no, none of it's true. They were like, oh, fuck, you caught me. Now you're going to prison. Like, the reason he's not in prison is because it obviously isn't true. Like, you can't. God.
But see,
I need to get through the Looking Glass where it's funny.
I think,
but yeah,
I don't understand why you don't think it is. This is, like,
I think the moon thing made me so mad that I was on a bad foot for this entire segment.
Yeah, I think that this kind of gets into the fact that you and I just love liar boys.
I do love a liar boy. They're
and
very
so
funny.
that's gonna get us into. Well, I think that I've wasted so much time talking about Frank Dux, but it's okay because I want this, because this is a backdoor pilot to my other show, which is just me desperately reading this book every week in hopes that Frank Dux like tries to sue me, and I have to meet him,
or comes on the podcast. We don't have guests, but like Frank Dux, you have an open invitation.
You have an open invitation at any point in time to come on the podcast, defend yourself. I I mean, I have not finished the book, and so I cannot speak to anything. I think that if you truly are the secret man, and it looks like you are,
Prove it,
you certainly do own a lot of telescopes.
You're looking
only,
at something.
Only a secret man would have that many of them. I'll listen. I'll get Frank on the show. I'll get Bill Casey on the show. We'll get them both here. I don't know if he's still alive or not. We'll get them both on the show, and we'll be like, "Hey guys, hash this out." And then we'll have Bill hooked up to a lie detector test. Sure. We won't have Frank hooked up to a lie detector test because obviously he's so well trained that he can just trick it into making it seem like he's telling the truth.
Are you suggesting that my boy Frank Dux cannot beat a lie detector? Do you know how sexy and good at kissing he is? I'm sure he's great at it.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He can totally be.
If it came out as false, that'd be just him toying with us.
So you would like put Frank on a lie detector, but not
no. I would put the head of the CIA on a lie detector test because he is not a good boy who's good at kissing.
No way. As good as kissing
no way in hell because he's a punk ass bitch who's lying about Frank being in the CIA
and probably wears a suit. You know?
Yeah, he probably is a suit.
Okay, that makes sense. But our boy Frank Dux.
Frank Dux. I would not put him on a lie detector test because it's just like what
he's too strong.
Yeah. They can't get around. They can't get around.
He's gonna be able to. He's gonna change his heart rate at such a rhythm that it writes out words on the lie detector.
Exactly,
like,
and it's just like
nice try, suit, and it's like
oh shit, man, you're so honestly,
so good.
You're so good at kissing.
You're so good.
So yeah, I think he's just like a real life Steven Seagal, like in Steven Seagal movies.
But he isn't in any way.
Huh?
He's playing a Steven Seagal character, but he is in no way Steven Seagal. Well, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. I bet they know each other. But this gets into our other, like, just as we're continuing the circuit of liar boys, I want to talk about my new and most favorite new liar boy.
Okay.
Dan Blazarian. I think that you should pull up your phone right now and you should go to Instagram and you should just look at Dan Blazarian and then just start to kind of, and it's B-I-L.
I know this guy's face. Who the fuck is this guy?
So go ahead. It's important you look at his Instagram because if you look at it. Okay, because that is where he gets to curate what the audience sees. So go ahead and look at this Instagram and in some words describe just the aesthetic, this guy, what you think he's about,
I think he's about cleavage. It's a lot of naked or half naked women and Dan Blazarian.
But have you seen how shredded Dan Blazarian is?
He is very strong and his beard has a geometry that is confusing to me. His beard is so square in a way that I've never seen a beard. Yeah, I mean he's strong. He's mostly wearing white tees, so I don't really. I mean, there's obviously one picture with his shirt off, but then all white t-shirts from there. Here's him with the big gun. Here's him with the motorcycle. I need to log in to see more, so hold on. Give me 1 minute. It's mostly him with naked women or women in bikinis. So
yes. So
am I missing something?
No. I mean, I think the way that I would describe Dan Blazarian is he is the human embodiment of like Instagram influencer quotes. Like man, the average billionaire sleeps 13 minutes a day. Like, get your money up. Like that sort of vibe. Or like the sort of person.
Oh, here's a picture of him with a bunch of money. But it does seem photoshopped. The perspective on this picture is very confusing. Is this an optical illusion? Are you seeing this picture of him with money?
Not off the top of my...
it's a counter that goes up to his waist. I thought it was a bed and the floor. Oh, that was blowing my mind. Okay.
So yeah, just kind of look at like my favorite one is there's one of him. It is of him playing chess. But the sides of the chessboard are filled with hundreds of dollars of like it is stacks of $100 bills.
I see this.
And so he is just kind of like that sort of dude that's like, while you guys were playing checkers, I was playing chess the whole time. That kind of dude.
Now that's 2 after the picture of him eating some sort of miso soup while 4 women are in a hot tub next to him.
Yes, that is certainly what is happening. He's also always wearing that hat. Anyway.
And a white shirt while these naked women are everywhere.
Yes. Dan Bilzerian.
This is a weird turn.
Dan Bilzerian is a internet like rich boy, and he is seen as this like a super big time socialite who just is such a cool time smart boy that he is just, you know, because he's so smart and good at chess and whatever, he is like just gonna be successful, and recently, a lot of people were looking into his kind of business dealings, and this has been a known fact for a while.
What
but
does this guy do?
So Dan Bilzerian is a poker player. Specifically, Dan Bilzerian won $50 million in poker one year, which is about $11 million more than the highest paid winning poker tournament guys have won ever.
And he actually won it, or
coincidentally, his father, famous for being a scumbag stockbroker type, laundering millions and millions of dollars, had to give over a bunch of his money to the government. His dad's in jail now, but mysteriously, $50 million went missing, and it's just such a coinkydink that Dan Bilzerian won $50 million in poker the same year.
This is Paul Bilzerian.
Yes, this is Paul Bilzerian. And so Dan Bilzerian has, if you look at his Instagram, you see that he has all this logo of like a goat skull, like a ram skull sort of thing.
Like some sort of satanic symbol.
Yes. If you continue to look at it, you'll see that this logo is on everything from like boats to bikinis, specifically military equipment. There's one of him in like a giant like gun turret, like in the back of a car with like his logo on the tank looking thing.
I do see that. It's very confusing. He's got this big gun. It's after he's playing poker with this.
Yes. So it's he has this company where he's like doing THC or CBD or what have you. He's doing lots of things. He's also writing an autobiography about his life that did not get bought by any sellers. So he's publishing it. He's publishing it independently. So some news came out.
No, before you do that, I have so many. There's one picture in particular that I do have a lot of questions about that I need you to look at.
Okay.
There's Dan Bilzerian. It's after the military one. It's before the marijuana one. It is Dan Bilzerian, and he's playing chess with a man who I think is famous, but I don't know.
Is it Steve Aoki?
It is Steve Aoki. That is his name. So it's him and Steve Aoki. Behind him, there does seem to be a wax figure of Steve Aoki also.
Yes.
Okay, so that's not a ghost in my computer.
No.
Steve
Steve Aoki does have a picture or a wax figure of his own self in his own house.
Okay, all right, just making sure. I was like, I know who this guy is, but I don't know his name, and there does seem to be a wax figure of himself. So Dan Bilzerian doesn't own a wax figure.
No, which would be incredible if that was the case.
Somehow, slightly less weird, Steve Aoki owns a wax figure of himself.
Yes.
Anyway,
Steve Aoki, famous for throwing cakes at people at the end of his sets. That's kind of a thing that he likes to do. Was he has a whole birthday cake and he'll throw it and people get hit in the face with the birthday cake and they like lose their minds. They love it. Just letting you know that happens.
That's fine. So anyway, so Dan the Man Bilzerian.
Dan the Man, he had this company, and the CEO of aforementioned company just got fired, and he got fired for essentially coming out and saying this company, like the stock, like allegedly The investors and Dan Bilzerian's money is all in one big pool that he is taking from. So everything that is going on, like what with like the lifestyle as well as like the house and all that stuff, it is all written out as business expenses. And so he has all these, like when he puts his logo onto a giant like tank, that is a business expense that he can pay for with his business's money, which is just his money and investors' money.
Which is what's the crime? What's the crime called?
Embezzlement.
Embezzling.
And so he has like, and it's gotten so far as like the women that are all these pictures are models that are hired for photo shoots. Like the one of him eating noodles in like the side of a pool was like a photo shoot. But
they're not really they're photo shoots for his Instagram.
For his Instagram, yes. He's just like, this dude has like, I've known about Dan for a little bit because he is like seen as this, like essentially he is an influencer like dream. He is like every 14-year-old boy's like, this is what I want my life to be like. Sure. And unless you're us and you're waiting for your elemental
powers,
bending powers, in which case, no, we want to help the Avatar get to the Fire Nation.
To be fair, we're watching Avatar right now. It's very good. I would rather have superpowers I would rather have my life than be Dan Bilzerian, because I'm going to assume there's a turn to this story.
Yeah, well, it is.
But I would rather have superpowers than Dan Bilzerian.
His company that he owns, and the reason why the financial money guy, the CFO of the company, stepped down is because he revealed that the company lost $50 million last year.
I saw that article.
So he is like everything that he has been doing has been bolstered up by this like liar boy sort of like force field.
So he's become famous, and his products, CBD and others, have become famous. So it's this feedback loop.
No, he's not not selling any of those things. Like both of his companies are like totally bust.
What?
Like the CBD one, as well as all of his merchandise and things, is just like absolutely like, because he's been pulling from all that money. It's not making
money.
It's not making more than he's like as quickly as he's taking out of it.
I'm sorry. I'm saying that is the premise. The premise is I need to have these photo shoots with all these models because that will raise my profile, and then people will know about the company, and then people will buy our stuff because I'm an influencer.
Yes,
but it's not working.
No. And like apparently it has been working for a long time, but it was the force field stayed up as long as everyone stayed inside. And this CFO money manager guy was like, I don't get this. Like, I don't know what's happening. All I can tell you is like this company lost like all of its money in 1 year.
Okay.
And
are they defensive? Yeah, go ahead.
And because Dan is a cool boy and he's so smart and so strong, sure. He's still like throwing like massive parties there like every weekend.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Coronavirus doesn't exist because he's so strong. And it's just
and probably really good at kissing.
It's so strange because like once the jig is up, why? I mean, like, I guess like people don't really know,
Farfest.
But also, yeah, like, but you're like, I mean, like, you know, you're hemorrhaging money. I guess someone must have told you, and he must have been like, oh yeah, whatever. And it's just like, no, whatever. You don't have like a revenue stream,
right?
And your secret poker money is going away like pretty quickly
because he's not
like,
actually winning poker tournaments.
No,
was it ever documented? Like they said he won $50 million in poker, but was there ever like a
where
like what tournament?
No,
like
he
surely it would be televised.
No tournaments, all like off the book stuff.
God, it's Molly's game. It's good.
Yeah, but that's exactly what it is. It's Molly's game.
Sorry. Okay, I do have. So I understand the premise. I understand the influencer premise. Is he getting into defense contracts? You know, my brain's on a rock, so I'm still there a little bit.
Is he getting into defense for like his like?
Why would he put his logo on a
because
turret?
He wanted it.
Does he own the turret?
He wanted to buy it. So
he says exciting times as the caption.
Yes. So he wanted to buy it. So he put his logo. So he put his logo on it and wrote it off as a business expense.
But like, so this is in America. He's not like somewhere. He's not in like Syria selling turrets.
No.
He's not a defense contractor.
He is like, he's also one of those guys that I think is like,
can you just buy these and have them in America?
Yes. Like, I think he's a dude that's just like obsessed with like the military and has never been in the military.
Obviously.
But he's just like watching G.I. Joe and shit.
Yeah.
And
he's like our other liar boy, right?
Just wanted one and then bought one.
But okay, that is surprising to me that you could just buy one of those.
There is like military surplus things where you can just, I mean, that's how.
Well, buying fucking fatigues is different than a Humvee.
Well, I mean, like that's because you and I think our ceiling right now, which, but again, subscribe to our Patreon and we'll buy bigger military stuff.
I'll buy a fucking Humvee.
I'll buy military stuff. If you guys subscribe to our Patreon, I swear to God, I will be riding up in a Humvee. I'll be recording this in my Humvee.
Subscribe to our Patreon and we will buy Tomahawk missiles.
Yes.
Parody.
Yes.
I don't know what we'll do with them, but we'll buy them.
I would love to have a Tomahawk missile and no way to do anything with it. Be like, this is the Tomahawk missile.
I
got to tell you, the one thing I would love a size 11 black alligator shoe with bombs in the soles. That's what I need. No, I think that our money is too short. I think we can buy fatigues. I think once you get into a higher echelon of life and status, sure. I think that's when people are like, "Hey, you want a big ass gun?" And this is like, "Yeah, sure, I'll buy a big ass gun."
Honestly, I need some follow up. I'm gonna look into this. I have a really hard time believing. I like that while I'm sure no one asked him or required him, he is in like desert camo in this picture as well. I'm sure no one was like, "You got to do this," like, but I'm voluntarily did this.
Yeah, like he showed up on the day in desert camo.
I have a hard time believing you can buy a big gun and just have it.
So America. I'm actually gonna blow your mind. I'm gonna send you a link.
Please.
I am going to introduce you to someone, and we are like running out of time. I'm going to introduce you to this man. His name is Mel Bernstein. He is also known as the Dragon Man, and
the Dragon of the West.
The Dragon of the West. Yes. And let's see. I'm going to send this to you in the robot. Okay, I just liked your own conversation, which I didn't know you could do.
I liked it. No, that was me. I reacted with a heart. I don't know. I like I like how this episode's going. I got a little crazy there in the middle. You drove me a little bit insane there in the middle, but otherwise. Okay. Armed man. Give me the chat. Where are we at, chat? F's in the chat so I can see this article. There it is. One man. Meet the one-man army who owns more than 3,000 weapons and proudly boasts the scariest title, the most armed man in America. Oh, now that motorcycle is very cool, though.
So what Sam is looking at is a motorcycle that is fitted with a fire-breathing dragon coming out of the back of it, where he can drive around and have flames shoot out of a dragon that's above him. And if you kind of cycle through these pictures, you'll get kind of the deal that
those are bombs.
With enough money and influence, you can kind of get anything.
Oh, he does have like a big turret, heavy artillery and tanks. You know what I just remembered, and I wonder if this is the case. Although it does look like he's shooting this one. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, you know how you can't like own a sawed-off shotgun? Because that's the fucking thing. You can't have a sawed-off shotgun, but you can own this. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how? How? But you can't own a sawed-off shotgun unless it's like a collector's item and they're stopped up so they can't fire, right? Like, that's the thing. It's like you can have one, but it has to be inoperable. And so I was just about to say before I saw this picture of this very strong old man shooting this turret gun. Oh, maybe Danny Instagram, they're fake or they're real, but they don't work. But no, I'm
thinking maybe they do.
He has like what looks like just sort of a shed full of bombs.
I like the idea because like one of the things about him, like I've seen an interview with this guy and he's like, ain't nobody gonna fuck with me. It's just like, yeah, man.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, like obvious, like it's like you have signs out like on your property that say like I have a bazillion guns. It's just like what benefit do I have going over there? Like, the only benefit
Right.
I have is achieving your wet dream of like blowing me to smithereens, and I don't want to have that happen. So
right,
like,
he spends all day waiting for hip hop thugs to like hike 70 miles to his property.
Yeah, don't worry, man.
What are you
You're
talking
safe.
about?
Like, you live in the middle of the desert. You're safe. Like,
You're fine.
Yeah, like no
You don't even need the guns,
no one's
just live in the
coming for
desert.
you, man. Like, what are you talking about? And well, also in the interview, this guy, I mean, this can be kind of seen by just the lifestyle here, but he's a little unstable.
Oh, really? The guy who compulsively buys firearms and is constantly fantasizing about murdering people who come onto his property. That guy's not doing well? Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe having murder fantasies all day and spending all your money to better enjoy your murder fantasies isn't like a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, maybe not, but you know.
I'm not saying that about everybody that owns guns. I'm saying that about this guy.
I'm saying that maybe around when you like, you know, there's gotta be a good
I'm saying there's some overlap.
There's got to be a good medium ground between 1 and 3,000.
There's got to be.
Yeah, there's got to be. Why can't we figure this out?
Anyway, well, that's bizarre. I guess maybe Danny Instagram did buy this and put his logo on it. That's very confusing to me, but fine. Fine. So
okay. This has been the Get Better Boys love fake boys.
I love liar boys. That's
I love
true.
a good liar boy.
Liar boys are hilarious because they're very bad at lying.
It's
really
so
funny.
it's so
they
easy.
Double down. That's what's funny.
Yeah. That's I think that is what makes a good liar boy.
Yeah.
Is like there's qualifications of a good liar boy, and a good liar boy is just like doing things that are so easy to not lie about. Like, it actually is kind of impressive that you're lying about something that is so easy to fact check, and then doubling down and
right.
telling them everyone else is lying but you.
Well, like one of my other favorite liar boys, Elizabeth Holmes, right? Who's just like, hey, this technology that you're trying to create is like literally physically physics. It's like physically impossible to do what it is you're saying you're doing. And she's like, no, we're doing it. It's going great. It's going to be in CVS. And they're like, no, it super isn't.
What are you talking about?
Elizabeth Holmes, the Theranos lady.
Yeah, what?
What? This might have it might be Liar Boys Part 2.
Okay, good. This is exciting. We'll have to find some more Liar Boys.
I'd like to recommend to you the podcast Bad Blood.
Okay.
Maybe? Is that what it's called? Or maybe that's the movie. Theranos Podcast. The Dropout. I'm sorry. I think Bad Blood is maybe the book, or perhaps the documentary, or perhaps the song by Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
It's called The Dropout. It's a limited series about, I wouldn't even look anything up. If you've never heard of this woman, I would not look anything up, just go in cold. But she is a liar boy, and it is magnifique. It is wonderful.
That sounds exciting. I'm now that I'm going in cold, like I don't even know what the technology you said is. Like,
but spoilers, she doubles down and fucking rules. I mean, it's bad. I mean, these people are all bad.
Being a liar boy, we do not recommend liar boys. We don't actually love liar boys and liar girls. We just love watching them explode.
Right, that's what's great about
the dumpster fire they are.
Sure, what's great about it is watching it all fall apart. Like if Firefest, like if it all worked out, that would suck. Like, you know what I mean? Like Donald Rumsfeld is also a liar boy, but it all worked out for him, so it sucks. These people, it's hilarious.
Anyway, that's our show. Thank you all so much for listening to Get Better. You can find us at Get Better Podcast on Instagram. That's get_better_podcast, Instagram.com. Or there's also an app for it, I hear now. You can get on Instagram.com or the app. That's another exciting way to look at that.
This Dan Blazarian's all over it.
Yeah, exactly. And while you're looking at Dan Blazarian, pop on over to Get Better Podcast and, look at some of our clips, send those to some of your friends. Maybe send them to Dan, see what he thinks of it.
Dan.
Send it to our boy Dan. See what he thinks about it. And if Frank Dux is on Instagram, I will find that out by the time this does air, and I will be sending the clips to him. That's on 100%, because we got to get him on the show.
Zach, what if we had a panel and we don't fucking tell, like, we'll send him every clip with this episode, and we get you, me, Billy Firefest, Dan Blazarian,
Elizabeth Holmes.
Elizabeth Holmes. There's so many names. You're the secret man.
Frank Dux, the secret man.
And Bernie Madoff.
Yeah. Bernie Madoff will have to zoom in.
A great liar boy that also I have a funny story about, but we absolutely don't have time because we're in the outro. But anyway, get all the liar boys on, but not tell them the other people are going to be on the interview.
Yeah.
Just be like, we just want to hear your side of the story.
Watch them slowly realize, like, Actually, no, they probably won't even realize it. They'll just be like, oh, sick, I love your shit.
They'll all just talk all the way through it. It'll be so great. Let's get a liar boy panel. I'm very excited for this new project.
And if you have any information on how to get this liar boy panel going, you can reach us at meetthefockers2 at fockedup@gmail.com. That was a great transition. Thank you, Zach. And yes, once again, that is meetthefockers2 fockedup@gmail.com. And we'll see you guys at LiarCon 2021. And we'll see you guys for...
That's perfect. That's like a whole... That's what it is. What we'll do is we'll have a conference called Liar Boys, right? And everyone gets their thing. And then there's no fucking conference. And we're like, we don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't know what happened. And we double the fuck down and we're like, hey, look, we've had a lot of time to really think this
That
over.
Would be such a great piece of like performance art.
And we're so sorry for the people we've hurt. But we're really excited for next year's LiarCon, and we never do it. And every year we just have LiarCon, but it's not a real conference.
That is so great. Yes. So yeah, catch us all at LiarCon, and until then, we'll see you next week.
All right.
See you. Bye forever.